Hey metalheads, we're back again. I think we're up to episode 5 now. So, keeping it consistent. And this week, we're talking to metal legend, Australian metal entrepreneur, Rob Sakey from o.c.d, Lord Kaos, the creator of Metal Stock, and the mastermind behind Vaticide. That's right, the Vaticide mastermind himself. Now, that was the biggest interest for me, talking all about Vaticide.
Right up his alley.
Yep, it's the heaviest shit ever, and I love it. But I tell you what, we also got to talk about the history of Vaticide, the future of Vaticide, where the name came from, and we even dived into a bit of Warhammer talk. Bit of Warhammer talk with Rob. That's his thing, man. So it was awesome, it was cool, and we'll definitely have Rob back another time when we get closer to the release of the second Vaticide album. Yeah, I'm looking forward to album number 2. I talked to Rob about that a fair bit. I think I mentioned that about 6 times, don't I, Kyle?
But his music is very brutal.
Brutal?
Rob's music.
And I'll tell you what, this podcast is unapologetic, unfiltered, uncensored, and we say, fuck the system.
You don't like it, fuck.
That's right.
Sorry, but that's how it is.
And that's exactly how Rob put it. So, stay metalheads, enjoy this video, dig deep into Vaticide's catalogue, because I tell you what, that self-titled album rocks, and it's on all streaming services, and I'll put the links down below.
Brutal.
But that's right, for this episode, we're going to stay heavy, we're going to stay brutal, and Rob even gave us a little teaser of one of the new Vaticide songs on the way. So, get ready for it, metalheads. Wow!
Rock on.
Yeah.
Got to tell you, I've been listening to a fair bit of the 2021 self-titled release lately.
Yep.
Yeah, been pumping that. Even I realised just the other night how far songs like War and that go back. Like, you guys have been doing that stuff since 2006 or so.
So long story with Vaticide stuff. A lot of that stuff was actually written in the from 1996 to 2000s. I started writing all that material. Those songs on that album were the first songs I ever wrote, heavy metal wise. So that stuff goes a long way back, and I was actually playing the first versions of those songs down in Nowra at under a different name back in 96 to 1999.
Yeah, okay, so it was all under a different name back then.
Oh yeah, I've had a few different names, few different lineups. That when I moved to Sydney, I brought all my songs with me, all my writing with me, and started looking for members in Sydney and reformed under a different name.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that material I've had for a pretty long time now. So
no, that's epic, man. It made me realise how far you go back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my baby. That's the stuff I first started to write when I first picked up guitar and started getting into metal. That was for me. That was what it was about, and it took me a long time to find the right members that could do it justice and and you know, add the icing on the cake. I'd already built the cake, but you need the right people to add that icing on the cake and finish off the foundation to, you know, create such a unique masterpiece, which I believe it is. So, but it wouldn't have happened without the members that I had at the time, and you know, we just had the awesome lineup and the right people to do that album justice. So
now it's finally a thing in the 20s, even though it evolved over 10 or 20 years. Yeah,
well, that album was recorded in 2004.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I just never released it.
And then it gets released in 2021, but okay.
Yeah, it was actually recorded in about 2004, something like that, when I was still doing the metal stuff back in the day.
Actually, I'll quickly introduce you now that he's got comfortable. I think you might
Yep.
know this bloke.
He knows me.
He
Yeah, I
knows
know
you
him.
well.
He knows me.
Yeah.
I know Rob.
Let me bring you over to say hello to Kyle, because what we've got is we've got the multicam set up. So
Sweet as, brother.
check out the multicam. Here we go. Say hello to Kyle.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
how are you?
Good, mate.
Good to see you
Yourself?
again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, good, bro.
been a while since we spoke last. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been keeping busy, work and music as you do.
Yeah, I've seen you have been touring a fair bit too. Like you went over to New
With Lord
Zealand, I think it was.
Kaos. Yeah, with Lord Kaos, we went to New Zealand not long ago. Yeah, that was killer. With o.c.d, we've just got back from Nowhere Festival in Brisbane. So,
Yep.
yeah, those couple of bands are gigging around and keeping me busy on the live front. So
Yeah,
it's been nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then you can do this on the side sort of thing.
Yeah, well,Vaticide's my baby. That's where I write all my music, and yeah, at the moment we're not ready to do live stuff, so I'm just focused on writing the second album at the moment. That's my number one goal. Whenever I've got time off from the other bands and not at work, I jump down the studio and do a bit of work on the song. So
I remember going and jamming with you and another bass player there at your place.
yeah,
ages
long
ago.
time ago.
And,
Yeah.
But even then, you were saying, this project now is your baby. So
Yeah. It always has been, man. Vaticide's always been my baby. That's my heart on my sleeve shit. And yeah, when you were here, none of this build would have been done on the studio. That was the old days. I've been building the studio up since then. It's starting to look pretty good. It's just a slow process, but I'm in no rush. I'm doing it properly, so it's taking a bit of time. But it's something that I do with my dad just to hang out with him, and I've been doing it all with him, which has been nice way to spend time with each other. And
yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's sick. Ah, cool.
Hey, I'll have to come over and check it out soon, man.
I will.
It's different studio now compared to when you were here.
Yeah. I'll have to come over and have a jam with you. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fucking know.
Yeah. That'd be sick. Well, yeah. Cool.
Nah, there's plenty more to come. I've got to tell you, even hearing the words that you are working on the second release excites. Like that's what we're like. Even when you were just talking to Kyle, and you're like, "I'm working on the second release." I'm like,
Yeah,
I know because I've been watching just the little posts here and there, showing what yous are doing. I love it. That's why I reached out, because I've actually been following you for probably about 6 months now.
Yeah, nice. Appreciate it.
In my feed, and
Yep.
I quickly realized, because of the Simmo Metal thing that I'm doing now, the algorithm is really locking me down into the people who are around here playing metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys are popping up in my feed and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, nice.
And this one particularly, I was like, this is my flavor, man. This is really juicy.
Yeah,
Like 2000s death metal with a thrash edge, ripping guitar solos, brutal vocals, man. And even a killer album cover and theme. Like the look of that demon on the front cover, he stands out to me, man. Can you tell us a bit about that front cover and about that demon on the front cover?
Basically, it was just one of my good mates that I was living with drew it at the time. It was just the theme of some of the songs I was writing at the time, and
like
he sort of just picked my brain about. I was always been into the more evil side of things and against the church, and fighting for freedom and the war for freedom and fighting for the injustice that's been done. And basically that's what that cover was about. It was a bit of an attack on the church at the time. And
yeah, I felt that.
Fuck you. Like you've done a lot of shit wrong, and yeah, fuck yous. But I that stuff bleeds through into my lyrics as well back then. So the first album was very sort of hard on my sleeve, how I felt about the world, how I felt about different people in power abusing their positions of power, and just the corruption and all that shit, and it sort of bled through into my lyrics, and The guy that drew that for me, we used to hang out all the time, and he basically just knew what I was about and just come up with that picture. I didn't tell him to draw it. He just thought, oh, fucking this might suit what you're talking about in some of your lyrics.
When other people come up with stuff that suits your music like that. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, but he knew what I was about, what I stood for, and what I was fighting against and what I was fighting for. So
and he understood the lyrical themes and where that all sits.
Yeah, well, that's it, and that's basically
it was a match made in hell, brother.
That picture was actually done. It stood over a meter tall, and it was done with an airbrush.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I remember you saying that when I jammed with you.
So that's why it's such a high resolution picture.
Oh yeah, it was massive. It was a massive painting, but he did it with airbrush, and this guy's he's a freak. He's a genius when it comes to artwork. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So would you be talking to him maybe about the second album, like bringing him back, or you've got other things in mind?
Yeah, no, I'm still in touch with him. He's working on some artwork for me at the moment.
Well, that's great that you're still connected.
Yeah. He also did the sigils for me for the Lord Kaos flags that we have on the side of the stage. Like he still does. He's very, very busy, but when he can, he tries to still fit in doing some musical stuff on the side, and he's working on some stuff for me at the moment. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, hell yeah. Awesome, dude.
I know it's going to turn out to be killer, so I don't really have to worry. I just tell him what it's about and whatever, and give him an idea and just give him free reign basically, because I know whatever he's going to come up with is going to be me all over and be gold. So don't have to watch over him or.
Well, that's the thing I can say about that cover as a fan that has approached the music before I knew ya, and I will say it stands out. It stands out massively, and it just goes, "Oi, look at me!" And that's what I got from it anyway. It demanded a listen. Like it's one thing to see artwork and just keep scrolling. But that one demanded me to go, all right, well, I will go to Spotify and I will check out Hungry for Blood. And then I press play, and then you have me at Hungry for Blood, bro.
Yeah, that song's killer.
I sort of knew Rob's stuff would be sort of right up your alley, Simmo. Honestly. From listening to it from that time when I first jammed and you showed me those few like demos that you had and this stuff, and I was like, shit, shit, that is heavy.
You were probably thinking, my mate Simmo, I
was. At the time, I was thinking this is something that you would absolutely love. And then when we started talking about like sort of doing this, which was talking to other different artists and bands, you're in the back of my mind, Rob, and you're one of the ones I was thinking we should do. And then Simmo said about it last week, and I was like,
yeah, nice.
I know that guy. I reckon he'd be pretty keen.
He agreed very quickly. He's like, yeah, get him, man. You'll love it.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Because it's all...
it's always good to have a chat with people doing what you guys are doing, and, you're a big support to the metal community, and, I'm sure that's muchly appreciated throughout the scene, what you guys do.
Well, at the moment, for us, it's all about really trying to shed a spotlight on all of these Hunter bands. Like bands from the Hunter, Newcastle. We have talked to a few Melbourne bands, which is really cool.
Melbourne's been the thing lately.
Yeah, Melbourne has been the thing. We've talked to Frankenbach, we've talked to Ludo Chop. We've got Khan coming up soon. So
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, but I will ask. So you're definitely Hunter based, aren't you? You're definitely in the Newcastle area, aren't you, Rob?
Yes, mate. Yep.
Newcastle metal through and through.
I've been around with like Vaticide, sort of like I say. It's when I first started writing these songs, I was living in Newcastle. This is back in the early '90s, and then I moved to Nowra, and I formed my first version of Vaticide under a different name. Back then, we were called The Plague. Playing a lot of these same songs, Hungry for Blood and War and World Contamination and all that.
And I remember,
then I moved to Sydney.
I remember a festival when I went and jammed with you. You had like a festival poster, and it was like a frame. I think it was like a framed one.
Metal stock.
Yeah, and it was your like metal festival.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah,
was
that's what we
awesome.
held on the farm. That was after I moved to Sydney and got this new lineup together.
I have
I just
heard the
decided,
legendary tales.
I decided I wanted to form my own 3-day festival at Easter time, just to tie everything together. You know, Vaticide playing at Easter time, and we
Yep.
used to play at midnight under the full moon. So
Yes. Yep. Definitely.
I mean, it was just the perfect world. Like that was, on my parents' farm up there, outdoors under the full moon, playing those songs
So you were there for
on
that,
Easter
Kyle.
Sunday.
I
Hey,
wasn't. I wasn't at them, but I know of them. I had
You
mates.
know
yeah,
of
no, we're
them.
going
I
back
have
to
mates that went. Yeah,
2005.
mates that
Yeah,
went
yeah.
there.
I have
Oh,
heard the
2005
legendary
was the first
tales of
one.
Metal Stock.
Yeah, a lot of local people big in the scene now were there, like Luke Winchester, who
yeah,
runs the gigs at the Hammer. He was at Metalstock with
yep,
his Chambers of Insanity, I believe he was playing for. Then they played up there. So yeah, it goes way back in the scene. That's for sure. There's a lot of people that still talk about it and still remember those days. There was some lots of fun up there. That's for sure.
yeah, dude, definitely.
It was a lot of work though, organising 30 to 40 bands over the
Oh
3 days. And,
man, it would. I could only imagine how big that would have been and how hectic
yeah,
that would have been
because we
organising.
had to hire security guards. We had to get liquor licenses to run bars, and yeah, it was all done properly, council approval, and three
Yeah,
days worth of camping as an all ages festival. There's a lot of logistics involved, as you could imagine, but
yeah,
we
definitely.
made it work, and I still miss those days. It was some of the best times I've had would have been up there, doing that, organising that festival and playing up there was
You might have to like bring it back to bring
Oh,
like a
that's
a,
that's
reu- a
pretty hard,
reunion a
especially
reunion
the
festival.
it's even harder to do it these days. I think
That
before
is.
the way the world is, and just I think to do a 3-day camping festival that'd be pretty hard these days. So
Hectic.
I'm a bit past it. I think I've got too many other things going at the moment. So
Definitely, definitely.
yeah, once you got a small business and that, there's just a lot of work just running my cafe day to day. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, wouldn't give it up for the world, but yeah, definitely I don't have as much free time as I did back then when I was doing the metal stock stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Uh,
So the actual, although Vaticide has been around since back in 2002, 2005, all of
yep,
that, now moving forward with that release, I feel like it's all wheels on the truck now. Like basically, you are going to be moving forward. We're going to have another release, and we don't
yep.
have to worry too much about live shows at the moment. I'm just looking forward to that new release.
Yep, definitely going to be a new release. I'm working hard on that. I've got Astanu back engineering it for me. He engineered the first one, so we're back in touch. And yeah, he's full throttle helping me engineer it to get the best out of the songs, which is great again.
Yep.
And I'm just still finalising a live lineup for when I get all this work done. So we're not going to rush it because we really want this to be something special. It's been 20 years since I've recorded an album, so
Yeah, yeah.
I've waited 20 years, and I've got some of these song ideas I actually had back then. I've had them simmering away for a long time, but I stopped playing music and guitar for a lot of years. So yeah, I don't want to rush this. I just want to do it right and get the right people on board to once again, help me bring this to life and get the best out of these songs, because there's some killer ideas and some killer songs there. That's why we just got to fine tune it and record it and get it done. But yeah, we're definitely not in a rush. We just want to make sure everything's. We're not going to second guess anything. Anything that we don't feel is 100% how we
Yeah.
want it, we're just going to keep going back and redoing it till it's like, yeah, I want everything to be just
Oh,
perfect on
I
this
love
one.
that, man. I love that
Yeah,
because even it's not about how long it takes. It's about how you can make things better each week and in increments. And you can
100%.
come back to things, and if you don't rush it, you're going to end up with what you want.
Yeah, well, this time we're not using other studios or anything. We're using my studio, so I'm not
Using that
under any.
setup, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it all here. So I'm not under any financial restraints, or I'm not under any time pressures, or I'm not under any sort of restrictions on anything like that. So it's open ended to how much time we can put into this and how, because it's not costing me anything basically. So which is a good thing. So.
Because that's the difference about back in the day. It's just the studio time and making sure you get the drums tracked, but then they cost $900 for one drum track.
Everything was big bickies back in the day to do it back then, but now with home studios, it's definitely taken a lot of that cost out of it. And if you got someone good that knows what they're doing, you can really do a lot in a decent home setup these days.
You really can. I feel you. I even release music myself from my home setup, and it's kick ass. I feel you. Like I do new metal stuff.
Yep.
I'll share it to you later. I'll share it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, I do. It's sort of like it's like a Slipknot sort of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a mask and everything.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but I feel you, like recording at home. I've literally released 2 EPs and 2 singles from my back room.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the go, man. If you can do it yourself, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I actually went to TAFE and did sound production Cert 3 all the way through to advanced diploma. And in the time that I spent at TAFE, I slowly built my home studio up bit by bit. I finally got my studio monitors, and then I wasn't mixing with headphones anymore.
Yep.
And then I finally got my MIDI keyboard, and I just built it up bit by bit. And now I've got
that's what you do.
two
Just
streams, sort of like what you do.
Yeah, just buy something decent over time, and eventually you got a good setup. That's exactly what I've been doing, and I'm almost there now. I've pretty much ticked off most of the items that I needed. So when it comes to like PC wise and equipment wise, I'm pretty much got what I need, which is soundproofing now and
so talking doors. Are you using Reaper or Ableton? Is that
no? I was using Pro Tools.
I'm Pro Tools.
I've got Pro Tools, but since I started working with Astonu, he's working in Cubase.
Cubase is really good too. It's very musician friendly.
Yeah, what I've done is I've transported everything from Pro Tools into Cubase and started a new session with him, and we're now doing everything in Cubase so that we're running the same software everywhere, basically.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I will say, Cubase is very musician friendly. Pro Tools is.
I've actually found he's shown me. It was a learning process for me because I was so used to Pro Tools and I've had to sort of relearn. But some of the things he was showing me in Cubase, I think they got some better things in there that you can do with your music as well. There's some things that I can do in Cubase that you couldn't do in Pro Tools, which I'm actually enjoying. So,
Pro Tools is more like an industry standard thing. It's more like used for film. It's used for, and like, the really big studios, like the Britney Spears records and that'll all have Pro Tools.
Well, our first album was recorded in Pro Tools.
Yep.
But just times have changed since then, and Cubase is probably much more of the common one now. But back when I recorded the album, like everyone who had studios was using Pro Tools back then. But Cubase seems to be taking over at the moment. Everyone's raving about that, and that's working good. So I thought I'd give it a go and change that. But I'm liking Cubase; it's working good for me.
Hell yeah! So that's Cubase in the background right there. I'm looking at right now.
That is. Yeah, I'm just been working on a song. We've started a new track. It's a bit different to the old album, this new stuff, but
So you're stepping into a little bit more of the modern sound with lower tunings and stuff like that.
No, I don't tune low or anything. My tuning is just D standard. The first Vaticide album was E flat standard, so I've gone down half a step. But I just write how I feel. My music's basically I don't try to follow a genre or a style or try to write a certain type of way. I basically just pick up the guitar and just write what comes out naturally.
I feel you. I definitely feel you. I do the exact same thing with my new metal project, Jackal Crow, and
Yeah,
I feel you. I've got songs that sometimes even verge on the edge of hip hop and trap beats while there's
yeah,
like metal and stuff going on. So I
yeah,
really do just I feel you. You just play
yeah. And
whatever you feel.
I think that's the best music. That's the real hard on your sleeve music, like just playing how you feel, what like off the cuff, and not trying to force a certain thing or a certain genre. Like just let
Yeah.
it bleed out, and that's how I've always written music. And
Hell yeah.
yeah, I just find that's what works for me. And I'll even just write bit by bit. I'll write just one riff or two riffs of the song, and then I'll put vocals over it. Do a
Yeah.
drum beat, do bass, then I'll write the next bit. Like I sort of
So
construct it
you're
as I go. I
so
don't write
that
a whole song musically and then worry about the vocals. I do it all together as I'm going linear.
so obviously, yeah, like with Vaticide, like that's just you. No one else at this present time. It's just you. You're the main
I've always been the
everything.
main songwriter in Vaticide. Yeah,
Yep.
I've basically been the dominant songwriter since I started the band. It's my baby. It's what it's
Yep.
what I do. It's how I get my emotions and my feelings out through my music.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, at the moment it's just the same as the first album. I'm doing most of the writing, and I'll get people to join and play the stuff and record the stuff with me. But when it comes to the songwriting, I've always been the main component of the songwriting structure.
So
Yeah.
you find it hard to sort of find other people that want to sort of share the same vision that you have for
No,
Vaticide?
not really. It's
Or
sometimes it's I mean, finding really talented musos can be
yeah,
hard in
yep,
general, especially in Newcastle.
yep,
There's not a huge pool of people to pick from, and all the ones that are really talented, they're already in multiple bands, so they're very
that's it too.
time restrictive.
I sort of
Um,
noticed that you even had a few people, like one of the guys from Plague Dweller, work with you at one point or something like that.
Donovan, my
Yeah,
guitarist now, the new guitarist of Vaticide, he's from Plague Dweller,
yeah, and
and
I'm
he,
a big fan of Plague Dweller as well. I'd
oh, they're
love to get
killer.
them on here
They're
eventually.
killer, and he's awesome to work with. I'll just give him stuff, and he will go home, and he'll add in his solos and his harmonies, and re-record all the rhythms the way he wants them recorded or whatever. But I just give him the music, and he sends it back and writes all his own solos and does what he needs to do, and it's always killer. I just don't have to worry about it. It's whatever you give that bloke, it's in good hands, and he's gonna do it justice. So yeah,
Nice.
it's been awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because I did notice that just like looking up some stuff that Donovan was associated with Vaticide, and I was like, I
Yeah,
like it.
he was the first person I recruited for this new album. I went around and was watching bands in Newey for a bit, and because I wanted someone local, of course, and I'd seen Plague Dweller a couple of times, and sort of started to get to know Donovan. And after that last show, I just said, "Nah, you're the dude. I want you to play on the Vaticide album." So
Yeah,
I
nice.
hit him
Yeah,
up.
Hell yeah, bro.
But I was
that's
very
sick.
selective. Like I took my time, but I was very selective. He was my first choice, and he was the first one I asked. I'm grateful that he said yes, because he's perfect man for the job, I reckon.
I
So
was gonna ask, so he was down straight away, like.
yeah, he had to listen
Yeah.
to the stuff and got back to me and said, "Yeah, man, I'd be keen." So I sent him all the demos and that of the stuff that I'd currently was working on, and it's been killer. So I just can't wait to get this new stuff finished and start doing some live shows with him and the rest of the lineup that we decided to take along with us.
Yeah, nice.
And I just want you to know, I am going to be listening to this album for the rest of the month, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
I've been lapping it up, and I just like the
Yeah.
riffing, and I like your thrash style.
I knew you'd love it.
Yeah, he knew I'd love
I
it.
knew you would.
Yeah, he put me on
I'll
to
give
it.
you a little taste. I'll give you a little taste of what I was working on today.
Yeah, dude.
We'd love to hear it, bro.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Hell yeah. Let's have a taste.
Here we go. The first.
See Yvonne on the Scrum show.
We are
Yeah, that's it, bro. Yeah, but that's not going to be the final product. That's just what I've been working on. That's the new one I'm working on. But it'll give you an idea of what the new album's going to sound like. Anyway,
I've got a cold brew here.
Yeah, I've got a couple lined up, ready to roll.
Yeah, man. That's the way, eh? True Australian metal has a couple of beers, mate.
Oh, fuck it, it's never too early to have a couple of beers.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a bit of a beer man.
Oh, I'm on to number 3 now, so
yeah. Well, I'll hit number 1, but I've got a carton in the fridge, so there's plenty more where that came from.
So just curious, like with your hold
on, I'll switch it over
your vocals. How do you go about sort of like writing your vocals? Like, do you come up with a theme first, or do you just does something just come to your head? And then
lyric wise, sometimes it can be a theme, but sometimes it's just off the cuff too. Like I say, I'll record the riff, put some drums behind it, put some bass behind it, and just start singing along to it and see what comes out, and sort of develop a theme that way, and then sort of. But so a lot of the time too, it's a bit themic. I've sort of got ideas. It's always speaking about stuff that I sort of believe in, or and am against, or sort of war topics with myself, like things that I'm personally warring against. That's where it sort of comes from. Spirituality. Not a deeply spiritual person, but I do believe in a little bit of occult ideas and things like that. So sometimes it can come about that way with certain beliefs that I have when it comes to the occult and different practices. But it's always stuff that I truly believe in, or that I feel at the time. It's never sort of just what I think needs to be written or what I think people will like. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
It's more, how do I feel? What do I believe in?
Who's like a vocalist?
That's where it comes from. Hatred, anger, all the good stuff.
So who would be like a vocal inspiration, like for you, like when you sort of that you draw inspiration from?
Back in the old days, probably Glenn Benton. He's fucking got some pretty evil vocals.
I thought you were gonna say
nice.
I was like, there is definitely deicide stuff going on in that.
That was definitely for the first album. I drew some inspiration with that, but my vocal style's changed a bit now. A lot of years have gone past, and I don't listen to much metal at the moment. I'm just trying to just let things naturally come out without being heavily influenced by. Because you're always influenced by everything around you and what you hear and what you listen to and that. So with this album, I'm sort of trying not to listen to too much and get influenced by too much, and just see what naturally comes out.
Yeah.
Nice. And my vocal style is probably, it's a bit different now. It's still heavy, but probably not the same as the first album. But yeah, it's still I think it's actually evolved and gotten better now than it was back then. Because I'm a bit older now, and voice has changed a little bit, and it's kind of got a bit more black metal influences now as well into my vocal style. If I had to say something, and you can't go wrong with that.
Nah, definitely not, man.
So would you say a little bit more like screechy and stuff like that as well coming? Like, what I'm thinking is I hear a lot of false chord in your earlier vocals, like a lot of like proper like what Corpse Grinder does, like literally opening the throat. Where I sort of sing from the back of the throat, like what you call what do they call it? Fry singing. I do fry sort of singing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what naturally came out back then when I was doing that stuff. That's just how it sort of evolved. But
it wasn't labeled back then, but now there's a science to it.
Yeah, they label everything.
Yeah. I don't know how it came about and why I started doing it. I was listening to a lot of death metal at the time, so I guess But I've always been back then. I was mainly influenced by thrash and death metal. They were my two biggest, genres that I was listening to. But since then, I've listened to a lot more black metal and stuff like that. But I think your voice just naturally evolves and changes anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Mine has over the years. I've got demos from me singing with a screamo band called A Villain's Embrace back in the 2010s,
yep,
and then I've got me singing on my current Jackal Crow project. Sounds very, very different. Very
yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah. So people's
yeah.
vocals do evolve over time. Yeah.
What I'm doing now just feels natural, and it's just what's coming out. It's yeah, I don't know. I think I just sort of just go with the flow and what sort of fits the mood and the songs that I'm in. And at the moment, it's definitely different to what I used to do, but
Well, I'm
it
looking forward to
works
hearing
really
it.
well with these songs that I'm doing. So, but it's definitely probably influenced a bit more by the black thrash genres at the moment.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's going
yeah.
to be a little bit of a different taste because the last Vaticide album we get like really like what you said, Glenn Benton. We get that
It's the
thrash
vocals
death metal,
yeah,
definitely
thrash metal
2005.
guitars, death metal vocals.
Yeah, but this time round we might get something a little bit different from you, Rob. I
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
different, but it's just naturally coming out too. It's like yeah, it's whatever comes out, and if it sounds killer and I like it, then I just run with it. So, but yeah, what's coming out at the moment is yeah a lot different to what I was writing because you got to remember like some of those songs I started to write in 1996, like.
Yeah,
But that's it's a long time ago. So
yeah. It's
obviously my songwriting style's gonna have changed it a little bit, and yeah,
Well, that's what it is exciting to me is the idea that you've got a whole heap of music that's really good, that I'm really into, that is actually a little bit older than what the release sort of says it is. And
yeah. Well, I
then
wasn't gonna release it, so then I just decided, fuck it, I might as well put this
I'm,
shit out. It's
I'm fucking glad you did, man. It's good old fashioned death thrash metal, man.
I, I sat it on the shelf for 20 years before I said, fuck it, I'm just gotta do it. But yeah, no, definitely, I'm glad I did put it out there. So
Hell
I wish,
yes. So it's all
yeah,
on streaming services. Is there a physical copy of it?
there will be. That's coming.
Oh,
I've definitely the first release. We're going to do a physical copy of that.
mate, I'll buy
Uh,
one off you straight away.
yeah. No, I want to get it. I want to get it printed on CD and vinyl.
Yep. That's
Eventually,
Oh,
once I
yes.
get to that
yes. Me
stage.
and
So,
Kyle are like, yes,
So,
vinyl, we'll buy one
I
off
hear
you.
the word vinyl and I'm like, yep, definitely.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Definitely
Definitely.
when we get to the point where we're doing the live shows again, I want to have both releases out on vinyl and CDs so people can take home for them. But when that happens, I don't know, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about and you know planning to do at some stage.
I feel you. I'm like the same with my project. I went and released it initially on all streaming services because that's what you do these days. But
Yeah,
even my dad's a big fan of my music because he's a legend. And he actually asked me out of nowhere, he goes, son, when are these going to be some CDs I can put
yeah,
in my wall cabinet to show that my son does music? And I said,
yeah,
oh, I haven't really thought about that yet, Dad, but I might in the future. And there is a few companies that do really interesting stuff where what you can do is the CDs and the vinyls get printed to order.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what happens is people you sign up to the company, you pay your subscription, you send them your masters, but then what happens is when someone orders the vinyl actually doesn't get printed and made until someone orders one. So
yeah.
you're not
Right.
sitting at home with boxes and boxes of vinyl. The
Yeah, yeah,
vinyls
yeah,
get printed to order.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So that's
cool.
something maybe you could look into in the future too, Rob, is print to order
Yeah,
vinyls.
yeah. I'll
Yeah.
see what happens when we get a bit closer to that date. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely something I will be following and looking into. That's for sure.
Now, quick question about the live aspect of Vaticide. I know that you don't have much plans to do the live aspect for a while until you get this album out,
Yep.
but with Donovan as part of the project, do you see
Yep.
you and him doing something live once that second album comes out?
Oh, for sure. But yeah, with a couple of other members as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
So
have a full
you've
lineup.
got members in mind and all of that stuff.
We're
That's
still looking
great.
for we're still looking for a drummer. I do have all the other positions sorted. It just depends on a couple of things. I'm still depends if I want to play bass and do vocals or not live again for this.
Yeah, true that. That was
I'm
going to be
still
a different
deciding
question
because
I've
I
got
do
later.
I do have a bass player that's killer that I've spoken to that would take care of the live bass for me. But I'll be recording it all on the album and doing all that. But when it comes to live, I'm still undecided whether I want to just focus on singing or actually go back to playing bass and vocals because I've been singing live now in o.c.d for a while and just focusing on the singing part, and it's totally different performing when you just got a microphone rather
Yep.
than having to stand in front of a microphone with an instrument. It brings a
Yep.
total different element to what you can do,
Yes.
like just
Definitely.
by moving around
Be a
and
full
stuff like
front
that.
man.
So, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm kind of enjoying the freedom of just having a mic and not being restricted standing in front of a microphone
Yeah.
with an instrument. So that's what's confused me. Yeah, because the old days I was playing bass and singing, but that's what I'm sort of torn about now. Like, do I,
But also the
because I
old
really
days, it
enjoy
was
just singing.
in
Sorry.
the old. I was going to say in the old days, it's sort of that was just the way it was. Like you had your bass, you had your vocals, and you just attacked it. But now
Yeah,
it's a thing where once you've been out there and you've realised how much freedom you can have with just a microphone in your hand,
yeah,
it
exactly.
makes you sort
I'd
of
never
think,
experienced that before.
yeah,
I'd never played in a band where I just done vocals. So that's sort of thrown a spanner in the works. And now I'm trying to decide whether I want to just go that route
oh,
or play bass. So I'll work that out when it comes closer to it. I will be recording all the bass myself on the album and doing all that. But when it comes to live aspect, I do have someone that's killer that's given me that option to free me up to just doing it live if I want to. So we'll cross that bridge when we get a bit closer. And
yeah.
but he'd be definitely capable, and he'd be able to smash it. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome, dude. And the thing is, I like how, although that you originally were the bass player singer, that you do have in mind, look, I got a dude, man, he can smash this. And then you've got him, and you can do a lot more. Like you said, you can even prowl the stage a little bit more as a
Yeah,
vocalist.
exactly. That's what I enjoy doing, man. Being a
Yeah,
monster
man.
on the stage.
I
So it
actually
definitely
look
frees you
forward
up
to
to
that.
friggin' walk around and be that fucking demon. So
Yeah, I actually want to come see that live show in particular, Rob. Rob unleashed from the base. He is
oh
no
fuck
longer
yeah,
held back.
it's good. It's fun. It's
Uh,
good.
Awesome. So, in talking about just live and stuff, over the years, how have you seen the Aussie metal scene change? Because you've been out there back in the days of 2005, 2006, but then now you're still in this scene and you're seeing guys like Plague Dweller and stuff pop up. So, how have you seen the Aussie metal scene change over the last 10, 20 years?
That's a question. It's interesting. No, it's definitely a lot of different faces out there, and
A lot of different
music wise,
genres too. Like, look at a
music
band
wise,
like Parkway
it's changed
Drive,
a
you know?
lot. Yeah, but music wise, it has changed a lot. It's yeah. I feel there's too many genres now. Like we didn't have to worry about all this
Too
bullshit
many
when we were in the
too many
'90s growing up to
subgenres.
metal. It was
Yep.
thrash metal, black metal, death metal,
Yeah.
power metal and fucking punk. Like now it's just like
There's
what
so
the
many
fuck, man? I
different
don't.
there's so many
It's
different like
crazy.
metal genres. It's not funny.
Yeah. Now you've
Yeah,
got
And
all
I
the
don't really care about it all too much. For me at the moment, it's always been thrash metal for me. I love my thrash metal, but I also like a bit of death metal and black metal. Like it's those three genres will always be the
yeah.
three free for me anyway, regardless of what else
And
sort of
so
happens in the scene. But it's definitely changed a lot music-wise.
things like Gent was a big game changer in the
Yeah,
2010s. Everyone came
yeah.
along with their 8, 9 string guitars and they're playing these chugga-chug riffs,
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of that stuff. It doesn't really do anything for me. Like, I get it, and like see why people do it. That's what gets them off, and that's all fine. But it doesn't really do much for me. So I don't really,
Yeah, it doesn't
know
get the
too much
noggin
about
ticking,
it.
does it?
No, I still love the good, solo guitar driven bands where the guitarist can actually play solos, and the riffs are actually riffs, and yeah, it's. But each to their own. That's what kids like these days, and that's fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's it. Like even as someone that has a metal podcast, sometimes I've got to check out metal that I don't necessarily think is the greatest metal, but it's this newest, hottest thing at the moment. So everyone's like,
Yeah,
oh, you've got to hear Sleep Token Simmo. Simmo, talk about Sleep Token.
I haven't even heard them yet, bro.
Oh, bro.
Not the only one.
Let's just put it this way. It's like someone took R&B and jazz and mixed it with metal.
Yeah,
I'd
I've
call
heard
it
of
probably the
them, but
softest form of metal there's ever been.
yeah,
It's
no, I've
very
heard of
puncy.
them, but I just, no, I don't have. There's a lot of these bands that I know the names, but
Yeah.
I don't really sort of get into it. I'm sort of still stuck in the old school a little bit, but I do
He's
like to
still
listen to the
listening to
modern albums
Nile.
Nice.
Still pumping Nile, bro.
yeah, no, they go pretty good.
Oh, don't they? One of the
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, I think one of the most underrated death metal bands of all time is Nile.
Oh no, they're amazing, man. They
Yeah,
got some really good shit. Yeah.
yeah, it's nasty shit too. Yeah, hell yeah. Is there any acts on the scene at the moment that you see in Newcastle or Sydney that you're totally stoked on? Like you're like, there's this new act, man. Like even talking about Plague Dweller, maybe. Like.
Yeah, no, I don't really know any of the new bands that are coming out. To be honest, that's
Yeah, still
probably
old
not a
school.
question for me.
Rob's hanging out in his death metal cave, making his
I've been spending a lot of
his
time in the
thrash.
studio lately too, and like between working at the cafe and trying to get this album out. To be honest, I haven't been able to get out a whole lot, and
Yeah.
when my nights when I am away is usually when I'm on tour or playing a gig or something like that.
Is there
But yeah.
anything that you're listening to at the moment that's in your Spotify or that's in your phone where you just like there's this one metal band that you keep going back to, even if it's old school stuff? Like
Oh
what's in your
fuck.
playlist? That's sort of what I'm asking. Like what metal is Rob pumping while he's having a few beers before he starts recording?
What's
I
Rob's
haven't been listening
playlist?
to much. I haven't been listening to much metal, bro. Like I've been trying
Oh,
not to.
that's right.
Yeah,
You
I'm
did
trying.
talk about that because you don't want
Yeah,
it
I'm
influencing the
honestly,
way you write.
I'm trying not to. But
So you're just listening to some Akadaka or something like that when it comes on, or the radio, or
when I'm on my way to work, a lot of times I'll just put the
yeah,
radio on. Um, yeah, no, to be honest, I'm trying to sort of going through that phase where I just don't want to put too much in my brain. I just want to,
yeah, fair enough.
just yeah, because I'm writing metal at home and I'm playing in metal bands and that, and in my downtime, I try to sort of just do something that's not metal.
Yeah, okay. Where at the moment, me as Simmo Metal, I'm actually in this perpetual world of I find a band, I talk to a band, then I listen to that band a lot.
Yeah, you can do it all day, every day.
Yeah, so I'm checking out I've been listening to a lot of Frankenbox music lately because
Yeah,
we had a
yeah.
mad chat with Frankenbach.
That was awesome.
Frankenbach's a bit of an Australian
But
legend, and they are.
that's how I used to be too, man. I used to just listen to metal all the time. But lately I'm just trying to
But
do some different things for a little
I do
bit, which
like
is
the
good. It's good for the
idea
soul.
that your music doesn't get watered down by other people's metal. This is actually
Well,
sort
because
of
the thing is, I do find like when I go out and listen to a lot of bands, I'm not being hard or anything, but I'm seeing just a lot of regurgitated stuff, and there's
Definitely.
that's it's kind of gets to a point where there's not much that really inspires you anymore. It's not like it was 20 years ago when you're going, oh fuck, check that out, and you
nothing's
have to
really
put it
hitting
on
you and going,
repeat
boom.
because it was so killer and it was so new and so fresh.
Yep.
And a lot of bands these days are just regurgitating stuff. So it kind of it just doesn't make sense to listen to much of it anymore.
All sounds the same.
All sounds the same, exactly. So I mean, I've got my favourites, obviously, but when I'm writing my music, I don't want it to be influenced by too much. I want to try to keep it as raw as possible, and I think the best way to do that is to try to listen to less things that, you know what I mean? Like, I love metal, but when I'm writing music, I think it's best to listen to less of it. So I'm getting as little outside influence as possible. So it's just keeping it raw and just, sitting down here late at night, just writing how I feel and not sort of being influenced too much. So
like a less is more type thing.
Less can be more when it comes to songwriting.
Yeah,
I believe so. Otherwise, you could just start sounding like that band or start sounding like that band, and it does happen. And I probably do sound like different bands that I've been influenced by, because I've been influenced by tons of different bands over the years.
Yeah, I hear certain influences in there, but like you said, it is raw. It is raw. It's the rawest thing I've heard in a while, and I think that's why I gravitated to Vaticide so quickly. I was like, all right, that front cover's cool. Let's have a listen. And by the time I got to the end of the album, I was like, oh, I just listened to that whole thing. Fuck. So
it is a killer album. But
it is a
I've always been
killer
heavily
album,
influenced by 60s and 70s stuff too, to be honest, because I was brought up on all that good stuff with my parents, and I was, like, if I go to do karaoke, I always do a heavy metal version of House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Actually,
I usually get kicked off stage once I start fucking the black metal.
That was going to be one of my later questions. But you pretty answered that. So one of my questions was going to be heavy metal karaoke. What song will we hear you do in death metal? And there you go. You just answered me.
We had the Rising Sun, but more of a fucking more of a black metal version. But it actually it translates really well to a black metal vocal, that one.
And especially those chords, they're very dissonant. So that would sound great with black metal. Hell yeah, man. Actually, who knows? Maybe we'll hear a Vaticide version one day.
I do. So when in my downtime, I do find myself still going back to some of those old classics and listening to that stuff, because that's what I like, that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin.
So, getting a little bit away from music, Rob, what are some of your interests other than doing Vaticide and metal? Like for instance, me and Kyle, we've got other interests like comic books and video games and stuff like that. Yeah. We're thinking about starting up a whole nother channel to talk about comic books and video games. But is there other stuff that you get right into, like model building, or like is there anything that's like a hobby for Rob that is not Vaticide?
I used to get into Warhammer back in the day, but I don't have time for any of that stuff anymore. That's all, that stuff's pretty cool. But at the moment, sometimes I still get a bit of time to play a PlayStation game here and there, but just even that these days, I find it very hard to find time to
don't get
do
the
it.
Warhammer thing. Like, I never sort of got into it, and my brother tries to explain it to me. He's 10 years younger than what I am. It's sort of like when someone's trying to explain something to you, and it just goes over your head.
When you play it on a big board with fully painted models and heaps of scenery, it's actually killer, especially if you play it with someone that knows the rules and knows what they're doing. It's actually can be quite fun, but it says that there's a lot that goes with that game. It's pretty in-depth.
I feel you.
Awesome.
I used to have a mate that come over with the Star Wars version. It was called Legion, Star Wars Legion.
Oh, they did a Star Wars version.
Yeah, they did a Star Wars version called Legion.
I'd be in on that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you'd be in on that one, bro. So my friend Chris used to actually bring all of the models over we'd clear out my kitchen table, and he even had some scenery and stuff made, like certain buildings and dilapidated bases and stuff.
Well,
And
that's the fun part is the scenery. Once you got good scenery, it just changes the game. It's killer.
Yeah, no, that is the funnest part. And when I was playing it with him, we were using like the ruler and stuff to measure how far our shots and stuff could go. So yeah, I did get a bit of a drift of the rules. I get a rough idea of how that works. But that sounds killer, Rob. That's a mad extracurricular hobby.
Yeah, I like all that stuff, but like I say, I don't get much time to do anything like that these days, and
yeah,
pretty hard juggling work, and then being in 3 bands as well. I got a lot going on, and at the moment it's kind of hard to find spare time to do much else. And
yeah. So you're in Vaticide, o.c.d, and what was the other band?
Lord Kaos.
That's right, Lord Kaos. Yeah,
Lord Kaos is brutal.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to check out
that's
your
another
other
band.
bands,
That's another band that's been around since the 90s.
Yeah, I've seen videos of yous playing online, and I think even
it's heavy as fuck.
I think it was yous or it was o.c.d or one of the 2 bands. Yous were I think it was last year, and we're like yous were jamming or whatever at RTN Studios. And I come in and I saw you there, and I was like, "Oh, that's Rob. I haven't seen you for ages."
That would have been o.c.d. Lord Kaos is a different beast. That's we don't really have a chance to get together and do studio rehearsals because that's always overseas with Covenant. So it's basically,
Covenant. And that's what I always remember you saying about Lord Kaos, because old mate's always overseas.
You've got to basically just be ready whenever there's a gig. You've just got to do your homework and make sure you're ready. And we've got one coming up actually in a couple of weeks, the 7th of July at the Factory Theatre. There's a big all-day festival thing on Invocation Rituals. That's going to be killer. That'll be our first show.
Yeah, nice.
Since crikey. For a while, anyway.
So how many?
Since New Zealand. That's our first show since New Zealand.
So how many bands are on that bill with you? Is it just like?
I think there's about 8 bands, something like that, maybe 10. Yeah, it's an all-day thing. Starts pretty early, and then our next one for Lord Kaos is Necrosonic Festival in Brisbane.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So that's going to be killer. I don't know if you've seen that bill, but that bill is stacked. Necrosonic Festival.
I think I've seen it on Facebook. It's popped up, and I'm like, that's sick.
Yeah, they got 3 stages going. Something crazy. It's off its head.
Yeah, just refresh that bit. What you just said. That festival, so Simmo can hear what you were.
Yeah, sorry, I'll let you wrap it here for a sec.
Our next Lord Kaos show is in Sydney at Invocation Rituals, 7th of July.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're playing the Necrosonic Festival in Brisbane on the 28th of August.
Oh, user at Necrosonic. Okay, I have seen some posters for that. Yes.
Yeah, that thing's wild. It's got like 3 stages running, I do believe. There's a lot of bands on that bill. It's going to be crazy.
I love this, Rob. I actually thought...
Looking forward to those 2.
I actually just thought you were just the master of Vaticide, but now I realise o.c.d, Lord Kaos, man, you're deep in the metal trenches.
I've got a bit going on at the moment. But it's cool. Lord Kaos, I just play bass for, so that's easy. Then o.c.d, I just sing for. So, but Vaticide's my main writing vessel.
That's your writing.
So, that's my baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with your other things, you come in, you do your job, but they're the guys doing the writing and stuff like that. Yeah. But you've still got your input, obviously.
Oh, 100%. But it's just Vaticide's my main writing vessel, and
hell yeah,
that's how I get out all my thoughts about the world.
Even when I was looking up Vaticide, I actually got to see some really cool old pictures. How old are some of those pictures that are up of the Vaticide gigs?
Well, that would have been most of those gigs with that lineup would have occurred around 2004, 2005.
Yep.
Yeah, all the way up to like 2007, something like that.
And in the photos, am I wrong? I believe you had a lot longer hair back then.
Yep. I
Yeah,
do.
in those photos, I was like, man, his hair was a lot longer back then.
Had the big hair and the big goatee going, but yeah, no, definitely. Still the same me. I may look a bit different, but yeah, I still turn into the same fucking monster on stage. So
Hell yeah, man. Well, me and Kyle are going to try and rock up at some of those shows when we get a chance. We do
yeah,
gig
man.
vlogs as well. We come out and we'll have a chat to you
Nice.
live. We'll film the show and put some of it up. So, yeah, we'll try and come out to one of those soon. So we're getting near the end of our 40 minutes. In about a minute or two, could I get you to do the whole "This is Rob from Vaticide" and you're watching the Simmo and Kiel show? That's all you got to do,
Yep.
pretty much. And then we
Yep.
can have a chat for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure, bro.
All right,
Just tell
sweet.
me when.
All right, I'll let you fire off. So hit us with it, Rob.
This is Rob from Vaticide, and you're watching the Simmo and Kiel show.
Legend. Thank you very much, Rob.
Sick.
And I'll even pass it off to Kyle to thank you for a sec.
That was awesome. That was totally awesome, dude. That was cool.
This has been fun, man.
It has.
Killer.
It's been
Good to have
cool.
a chat.
Need to catch up more, dude. Like seriously.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I seriously haven't had time to do like.
It gets like that.
myself.
It's the older you get, we've all got more shit on our plate, and fucking, it's just it's you know, we all say it. We need to make time, but it gets very hard to find time to do other things. The older you get, it's, definitely here.
Even why me and Kyle do this, we're also managing. He's got his young fella. I've got 3 kids here. I've got to make sure pretty much when I finish this podcast, I'll be cooking tea in a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm straight back to dad mode, bro. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And same for Kyle too. When he
Yeah.
gets home, it's straight back to dad mode, isn't it, Kyle?
Pretty much, and then, well, other shit going on too. But yeah, just
Yeah, Kyle's got a lot going on at the moment.
that old dad mode's massive.
Yeah, kids are cool though. Kids keep you on your toes, keep you honest. So
They are, mate.
give you a sense of worth. That's for
You
sure.
got some Rugrats, Rob?
Yeah, I got a daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. You got some Rugrats, mate. Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Yeah, got one.
Yeah, I feel ya.
I'd much rather have a son than a daughter.
No,
she's been good for me. She's definitely changed my world. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah, I owe her a lot.
Gives you a different outlook having kids, doesn't it?
Oh, 100% it does. 100% it does. Gives you some responsibility and, you know, a sense of purpose sometimes. Like, it's great. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So, when you were coming up back in the day, did you do any vocal training for your vocals, or is it all just pure raw Rob, like what I do with Jackal Crow?
No, it's just pure raw. To be honest, I started writing poetry before I played music. So for me, I sort of picked up the guitar to try to accompany my poetry, and that's how I started writing songs, and it just evolved. Like, I'm listening to metal, and I started playing metal and putting metal riffs to my poems. Nice. So that's sort of how it started.
In that, I've just got a question here I just spotted that goes perfectly with that, is what comes first when you're writing, Rob, the poetry or the riff?
I do it both ways. Sometimes I'll have the lyrics, and then I'll put riffs to lyrics, or sometimes I'll just write riffs off the cuff and just sing off the cuff. Like I do it sort of, I do it always. Whatever the song needs, and whatever comes out, it can be done either way. There's no real set process. I don't think when it comes to songwriting. I think it's just about whatever works, and you know.
We've even got a theme song for this podcast that me and Kyle have, and the music is actually made by me. I literally personally made the music myself in the door.
It's fucking sick.
He loves it. It's a mad theme song. You'll see it when the show goes up online. But it's a cool theme song. And for that song, because I was trying to come up with a song for the show, the riff came first. later on, some lyrics came later. So I did an instrumental version of the song, and I also did a vocal version of the song. So the riff did come first with that one. But then on the other hand, I'm writing new songs at the moment for Jackal Crow, and the poetry has been coming first. And then I start to write the riff along with the poetry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both ways are a good way to write. Just sometimes you got a lyrical idea that you want to accompany, and sometimes you got a cool riff that you need to put something to. So I think there's no real right or wrong way to do it, as long as you come up with something that's cool at the end of the day, and something that you believe in, and something that's pure and true to what you're about.
Yeah. I'll show you a heap of my music later. I'll send you a little link.
Yeah, man.
And it'll be a Linktree, and you can find all of the Jackal Crow stuff. I've even got a comic book, bro.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, because it's this masked character that wears a trench coat and stuff. We ended up coming up with a comic book story to tell the reason why the mask actually goes onto the character. So
nice. I just cracked another beer if you want to fucking have a bit more of a chat if it runs out.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Got one question.
Yeah, I'll let Kyle ask you a question, and then I'll tell you what, I'll send you one more link.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, we're having a few beers now, aren't we?
This is where the good shit is. Fucking 4 beers in.
Yeah, this is where the good shit happens.
So over the course of like your whole, like, say, since you started like back in 2002 or whatever it was, has there been like any sort of like memorable bands you've played with, or any big bands that you're proud that you've actually like, hey, we got to play with that band, that was totally awesome?
Yeah, any bigger names that you've ever opened for before, Rob?
Or any bands that have just blown you away?
Vaticide did a few ones. We did the Punch and Stench back in the day, and we did Suffocation, which was cool.
Holy shit, bro!
Vaticide had a couple of nice supports back in the day.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, that's mad. So Suffocation, bro. Those blast beats will rip your head off.
Yeah,
that was killer. That was when we were at our pinnacle back then with that lineup. We were starting to get some decent supports and all that. But it was fun days.
What stopped with that?
That was at the Gated Club, actually. Yeah, Suffocation. Right. Yeah, it's back in like 2006, maybe 2005, something like that.
So why did that sort of lineup of Vaticide stop?
Just people go in different directions, different paths, different ideas, and what they believe in, and I didn't want to be censored, so because they were trying to censor me and tell me that you can't say this, you can't say that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's fucking Vaticide. It's always said what I fucking believe. I haven't changed.
Yeah,
and obviously, Vaticide is yours.
Sometimes people change, and once a band starts to take off, they'll decide that they want to all of a sudden have input on fucking what you are allowed to say and do in a fucking in a metal band that's called Vaticide. It's like,
definitely,
it is what it is.
I feel you, man. Damn.
So we sort of kind of fucking just had different paths in that respect. Like I wasn't gonna be censored and told that I can't say what I want to say, because that's why I write my lyrics about. That's what it's always been about, And someone wants to turn around and try to friggin' censor you and take away your creative freedom by saying, oh, this is too fucking evil, or this is whatever. It's like, that's not metal.
No, that's right. Exactly.
Definitely.
I feel you.
So getting back to what I was saying, it was more or less, I didn't want to be censored anymore, and
you don't want that.
Well, I was never censored anyway, and I never changed, and I never changed my lyrics. I never changed my thoughts or who I was. But as the band started to get popular, certain people in the band were trying to tell me that my songs were too evil and I can't say this, I can't say that, or you're not allowed to say Hail Satan, or you're not allowed to say this. I'm like, you in Vaticide, motherfucker. Like, this is what we're about. This is what I've always been about.
You're in Vaticide. You're going to say whatever you want.
You're not going to tell me that I can't fucking say Hail Satan or fucking throw the horns up whatever. Like, that's just fucking bullshit. So
Definitely.
if I had have gone down that route, it would have gone against the whole grain of why the foundation of why the band was built in the first place, and
Yeah, right.
it would have turned the band into another plastic band that was just fucking using pentagrams and symbols to look cool, but didn't actually have any real connection with it.
Yeah,
And that's the problem with a lot of metal bands these days. They like to flash the pentagram around and do all that stuff,
love the
but
image.
they don't give a fuck. Like, they're just fucking weak as piss, you know, when it comes to that. So I wasn't going to be censored. I wasn't going to be told that, I can't do this, can't do that, because that's what Vaticide is. That's what I've always been about, and I'm not going to change.
Definitely.
So I had to just stop the band for a while and cleanse it and refresh it, and now it's time to refresh it and start again.
Yeah, nice.
I love that style and that approach, Rob. Just calm. It's time for an overhaul.
Well, it couldn't go forward at that time with that. As much as that lineup was killer and it was an amazing lineup, and I wish we'd have done a lot more. When you've got people that are against the grain of the belief system of what the foundation of the band was built in, then that just destroys everything that just destroys all the hard work you've just done.
Yep.
So
and like
as much as they might be awesome musos and whatever, it's like that whole belief system, the whole foundation of what got Vaticide to where it was what I'd injected into it. It never changed. It was always the same. They joined me. I didn't join them. They joined my band. They joined my belief system. They joined my project.
I even get that
so why should I
vibe
change?
from your music, from the album. I actually get this unapologetic, like, fucking this is how it is sort of vibe.
So why should I should I change because we're all of a sudden getting popular and other people have jumped on the bus, and the bus was always going. Like, I didn't jump on their bus. I always drove the bus.
And
I always did the hard yards. I always built it from the foundation up.
Some of the
it's always
legends,
been my baby.
like Glenn Benton and that, they never watered themselves down, did they? Like, fucking at all.
I came to a point where I'm like, I prefer this band to just stop and not play gigs and split up rather than keep going forward when we're just watering down the whole foundation of what Vaticide was built on. Like, I couldn't do it, so I had to just go, okay, fuck it, and let the band dissolve for that time until I was ready to come back and rebuild and get a fresh lineup and start again. But at that time, those guys were perfect, awesome. Nothing bad to say about them. They did the job they needed to do to record the album. But when it comes to trying to censor musical creation and someone's beliefs when they're bleeding their lyrics and their vocals out on their sleeve, like wearing their heart on their sleeve, that's not music. Like, you can't censor that shit. That's how the good music's written, is by being true to yourself, being right and pure emotions. That's what music's about.
You'll find that when I actually share some of my music to you as well, there's a lot of real pure, real emotional shit, and that's
the shit I love.
Uncompromising too. Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of it at the end of it.
That's the shit I love, being true to yourself, If you hate something, fucking sing about it, If you're against the fucking church or what they've done, fucking sing about it. Like, it is what it is. That's the best music. Like, if other people don't like it, well, tough. Unfortunately, I just had some band members that didn't like me fucking being so vocal about fucking burning the church and fucking destroying the cunts. It is what it is.
But you know what?
But I haven't changed. I still believe the same thing. I still hate the church. Fucking 20 years later, it's a new version of Vaticide, but I don't know why. It's just in my fucking blood, bro.
Fair enough, bro.
I fucking always hate those cunts.
But even throughout history of metal over the last 20, 40 years, look at things like Mayhem, one of the greatest black metal bands of all time, mate. They used to burn them to the ground.
So they should.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they should.
Nice. I love it. Just burn them down.
So,
burn the guns down. Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I feel you, man. So, with like where they were like, you know, in that time and that age, it feels like there would have been a little bit of like, oh, we do want to go a little bit mainstream, Rob. We do want to
I
kick
don't think it was
ass a little
necessarily
bit. Is
about.
that it,
I don't think
or
it was. I
We
don't
want
think
to
it was
tone it
necessarily about
down.
being mainstream. The conversations came up about me being fucking too satanic and fucking, you know,
oh,
So they wanted you to
saying
tone
stuff
it
against the
down.
church too much or whatever. I don't fucking know. It's a long time ago, but it was just
yeah,
like, no, I can't do this. You got to make this band plastic. So
yeah.
it wasn't about being mainstream. It was more just trying to censor my lyrical content and what I was fighting
At the
against, you know.
time,
And
yeah,
at the time I was heavily fighting against the church,
yep,
and I think yeah they got scared,
yeah. Fair
basically.
enough.
I was,
So,
I was like, I was like the guy that had the perfect fucking thing. I put on a festival on Easter Sunday, once
yeah,
again to attack the church,
yeah.
and fucking put Vaticide on at midnight on Easter Sunday. Like I lined everything up perfectly. You
That
know what
was
I mean? I used to get
actually
up
a
there,
statement. Yeah.
get up. Then I was making a statement like, fucking, I'm gonna fucking make Vaticide play on Easter Sunday, fucking under a fucking full moon,
Hell
and
yeah.
and fucking. I think they just fucking, yeah, they might have just got scared because I was just too. I was living Vaticide. I was breathing Vaticide. I was becoming like the Vaticide demon. Basically, I was right into it. Maybe they got scared. I don't know, but yeah, they try to tell me what I can and can't say, and say can't say Hail Satan. You can't say this. You can't say that. I'm like, well, this is not a fucking band. This is fucking bullshit. So
Yeah.
what's the point in continuing, basically? So yeah,
And
had to
that's when
cut,
it dissolved, yeah. But now we're
cut to
starting to
dissolve
come
it.
back, and we've still got those statements. We've still got
Still
you
got the same beliefs.
solid to your beliefs. And I will ask, in the occultism of it all, was there any like sort of like the fact, like you said, of playing under the full moon? Like, were there certain things that you would consider that they were your statements, you know what I mean? Like, was there a few other things like that, like playing under the moon? Like,
Um,
were there certain dates where you wanted to make sure, like, that the band played on the 6th of the 6th or anything
I
like that?
used to, I used to do, yeah, I used to do a lot of things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm starting to think that you would
dates
have.
and numbers, and yeah, I was right into all that stuff. I used to
So it
try to
was a bit
line shit up a
ritualistic
lot.
for you.
Oh, Vaticide was ritualistic for me, 100% all the time.
Still is.
It still is, man.
Yeah,
It's
because Jackal
music.
Crow is very ritualistic for me. I'm to
Yeah,
the point where I've even got freaking goat skulls and animal bones and certain stones and like Jackal Crow sits there with the mask on at the start of the album and is saying stuff like Nestis Arcana Mysteria. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. No,
um
music is a ritual, man, and that's how it was for me. Every time I performed with Vaticide, I was performing a musical ritual, and like I totally believed
I
everything that Vaticide stood for right from day one.
I think this is why
Uh,
Vaticide has clicked with me, like click, like bang, like
yeah,
because
yeah,
when I was listening to the music, I'm like, I'm all in on this shit right now.
yeah.
And
But
I
at the
think
same at the same time, it's always like back then. See, my bandmates didn't understand, but like, I used to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. Like I wanted to not only destroy things and fucking burn down churches, but I also wanted to heal the world in some respects too. Like I was fighting for Mother Earth. I was fighting
yeah,
for the moon. I was fighting for the sun.
there's
I was
songs that are
fighting
like
for. I was fighting
anti-war even.
I was fighting for freedom, like
Yeah,
of the people, like freedom from the oppressors and the
yeah.
suppressors. Like it was more than just fucking being anti-church, whatever. Like I was fighting for a lot of things. I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, and they just didn't get it. Unfortunately, it was a shame because Vaticide that album would have fucking blown up if we had kept going, but we couldn't
Mate,
keep going. It wasn't the right thing to do when people aren't buying into the ideology of the band and what its founding members have based it on. Then it's not really a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think, like you were saying, it's sort of like that hurt the legacy of Vaticide a little bit at the time.
100%. And I've been carrying that torch since 1996. Like, for it really hurt the legacy. It was a shame, and it was something I could never get over at the time. And I couldn't see myself playing on stage with that lineup, knowing that people were just,
almost sort of against the message of the band,
against the message that we were saying. Like, if you're in a band and you've sent in a message, then everyone has to buy into that message and believe in that message. Otherwise, it just makes you another plastic band. That's what pop bands do. They all fucking send false messages and shit. We're not about that. You got to believe in your message. That's the good shit. Otherwise, go and play in some fake processed fucking rock pop band bullshit and send false messages. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but metal shouldn't be about that. Metal should be about raw, pure, what you believe.
Well, I think even in the statement of this episode, I'm actually going to be calling this the rawest fucking Simmo and Kiel show there is. Because this episode we've done with you, Rob, you've got down nitty and gritty, and I will say I agree with everything you say about what Vaticide stands for. And I agree that it should have never been, anyone should have never tried to want to water it down. And I can understand why you said fucking dissolve this and we'll bring it back when it's ready.
Yeah. It took me a long time, but I spent 7 years homeless in my van after Vaticide dissolved. Like, it hurt me most than anyone. Like, I didn't recover for a long time. Like, I literally had to be homeless for 7 years, living in a fucking van because of it. Because I had to punish myself even more and thought, well, that's what I deserve, because that's what I felt I needed to do to just live that experience and fucking know what it's like to be at rock bottom. And when Vaticide fucking fell off the mountain, I seen no choice but to punish myself for it, because I thought it was my fault in some sense, because I fucking recruited the wrong people and allowed them to be in my project. So,
but you've come way past that now, and I can literally say, are truly the master of Vaticide, and we are talking to the Lord of it right here. And I'm looking forward to the second album. One thing I want to ask, is there any movies or any sort of horror movies that ever influenced Vaticide's poetry or writing? Like, is there anything you ever saw a movie of or something and went, I'm going to write a song about that?
No, not in any sense. No, I never really.
So no movies or anything have ever really influenced it?
I do like a good movie, but nothing's really sort of influenced me too much. The biggest thing that influenced me with Vaticide back in the day was when I first started working on those songs was in the mid-90s, when I found the Abramelin books. That was probably, if I had to say what sort of sparked me off, was the books of Abramelin back when I was in, I think it was about 1993, 1994.
Yeah.
That's when I sort of started to, slowly work on the Vaticide project and start putting shit together. And like I say, it was years later before we started playing the first gig down in Nowra under a different name. That was like 1996 or something. Abramelin, it's a cult book, for a very old occult book, but that's what, if I had to say what was the key influence on what got me started down that route, would probably be that book. That changed my fucking world.
Okay, I feel ya. Even some of my writing was actually highly influenced by the Liber Flexiphere, which is like an ancient grimoire about the path of the left-hand reaper. And I started getting into Le Morte and all sorts of shit. So but
I do like a good movie though, but I don't think movies have really influenced me too much. It's probably more some old school books and things like that.
So for me, with my music, a few movies that might have influenced it is The Crow and The Joker.
Yep.
These two things, these two
The
archetypes.
Joker was a good movie.
Yeah, well,
the Joker's a killer movie.
These archetypes, but the Joker that I'm talking about that influenced Jackal Crow was the Heath Ledger Joker. It had to be you know, like, yeah. I'll share you it later. I think you might dig some of my stuff, actually. I hope you do.
Man. No, I can't have a listen. I'll check it out.
Cool. Actually, you might have even heard of Kyle's band. You do a band called Firefish.
Yeah, we're up on Spotify.
Yep.
I think you played me some of that stuff last year when we first met. I think I might have.
I think there's one song that's on Spotify, and I think the other songs are on Triple J Unearthed as well.
Yeah, nice.
So that's pretty cool. We're always talking about recording, but it just seems to never happen.
But you've got a little bit of recording coming up soon, don't you, Kyle?
I do. I've got a recording coming up this weekend. Oh, next weekend. But that's completely different. That's just like a made up thing. Couldn't get the guys together, so I just went, fuck yes, I'll do my own song.
Do your own song?
No, that's fair enough. That's what happens sometimes. People let you down and stuff you around. You just got to go for it yourself, man.
Yeah, I've still got the singer. The singer's going to come and do that with me because we just do the stuff together.
Yep.
And then I
just metal stuff, heavy stuff, or rock stuff?
It's a song that I wrote for my son. So it's not
nice.
It's not really it's not metal. It's definitely not metal, but you can hear metal influences. So
some rock
in the heavy. It's more hard rock, but has that sort of end bit is a bit sort of like metal-ish, you could say.
Yeah.
That'll be up on Spotify in the next month or two once it's done.
Yeah, nice. Send me the link when you get it finished. I'll check him out.
Yeah, dude. The song's gonna be called Worth the Wait. So that's because my son was worth the wait. So that's where
100%.
That's an awesome title, bro. I love that.
Yeah, that's killer, man.
And that's mainly because my son was IVF. So we'd been trying for years and years, and then all of a sudden, first go through of IVF, and then bang, we got our son. So that's where the title.
Nice.
That's where the title name "Worth the Wait" comes from. So,
nice.
Yeah, cheers. It was good. That will be good anyway when it comes out.
Yeah. So one thing I really want to ask you, Rob, I always ask everyone this, and I haven't asked you yet. It's actually one of my, usually I start with questions, is where did you come up with the name Vaticide? Because to me, it conjures up the idea of like a big vat of like chemicals that is dangerous and it could hurt you.
I think spiritual. I think very like the Vatican.
Or as in a side against the Vatican.
Essentially a fucking Vatican. That's what
Vaticide means to kill a prophet.
It does, yes.
Oh,
Vaticide, means to kill a prophet. So I always compared it to like killing the false prophets. There's plenty of false prophets in the Vatican. Also, Vatican homicide, like side is to kill, sort of vaticide, so Vatican homicide type thing. But the correct term is to kill a prophet. But I didn't personally come up with the name. Like I say, I was writing those songs and playing those in a couple of different versions of Vaticide before I actually met that last lineup and we recorded the album. There was the drummer on the lineup just before the one that recorded the album was the one that actually came up with the new name. But I always took my songs with me. So, that was like the third or the fourth name that we had. But when we wanted to change the name again because we had some new members in, different band members, we were like throwing some names around, and the drummer come up with that name. He said, "Oh, what about this?" And straight away I said, "Fucking oath, Vatican homicide." Kill the fucking false prophets. That's the name.
I love it.
But I didn't come up with that one. That was hats off to the drummer at the time. But he wasn't on the album. He was the drummer before we recorded that album. But yeah, no, hats off to him
Nice.
because that was a killer name that he came up with, and I can't take credit for that.
That's sick though. Well,
That's a sick name, yeah.
you did keep the names. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking to kill the false prophets, man. Like you can't
I
change
get
that
it
shit.
now.
That just straight away it resembles everything I'm fighting for and against and yeah, that's the perfect name for what I do with that band. So yeah, I don't want to change the name, and I've put too much energy and effort and hard work into it to some people are like, well, why don't you just come up with a new name and do this new album under a new name? But it's like, I've always been Vaticide.Vaticide's my baby. Like I shouldn't have to. Like fucking, I'm just gonna do the second album. And a lot of this second album, I actually wrote for Vaticide back in 2006.
Like you
But the
said,
guys,
some of these songs are very old songs, even like you were saying.
yeah. But the new stuff I'm doing, the lyrical content in it, I was writing it for those guys back then, but they didn't like it. They've.
That
I
was
was
the
actually
stuff
going
that
to
they.
rehearse. I was going to rehearsal room showing them that I've got a whole second album written. Fucking did it, and they kept fucking. So I just buried it and fucking sat it on the shelf for 20 years. And now I've actually gone, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna dig all those fucking songs up from 20 years ago and start to record them again. And fucking, they're coming out killer. Like I'm changing them to how they were. I think it's a good thing that they festered for so long because I've kept all the same lyrical content that I had back then, and I've kept all the same lyrical themes.
But you've updated a
But
bit of the riffage and stuff like that.
well, I've basically some of the songs I've just written whole new music behind,
Okay,
but I've kept all the lyrics. But I think it's that festering or something has done something to it. It's even better now than it was good back then. The first versions of them were good, but now that's as something's happened, and that's just it's
I
100
know what
times
you
better
mean.
now than
I've
what it
got
was
songs from
back then.
7 years ago that I'm working on right now. And because I
Yeah,
let them fester for 7 years, they're coming out better now than they
yeah,
ever could have 7 years ago.
that's what's happened. So I'm kind of
I
glad
feel ya. I
they
know what you
didn't like
mean.
it back then and didn't want to do it, and the band sort of imploded because now I've got 20 years to look back on, and there's something about redoing those songs now properly. Something in the air right now with those songs, and it just seems to back then maybe wasn't the time, and now seems to be the right time, and the
Yeah.
songs are better for it. And plus, I've got some really cool people on board that are helping me with the project, and no, it's going to be killer. It's going to be killer.
Nice.
And you know what? You've got a climate in the world right now that's fucking more chaotic than it's ever been. So for that
Oh,
album to come out
100%.
in this day and age in the 20s, like
Yeah,
America is burning right now. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we are in the freaking end times, bro. What a perfect time for the second Vaticide album to hit.
As they say,
Yeah, man.
we're in the end game.
Yeah, we're pretty much in the end game now, bro.
I'm trying to fucking get one more album out before the world implodes. That's
Right, bro. Even me, I've got these 2 singles I want to drop before the world ends, you know?
Fuck it, eh?
Awesome. So what we'll do in the future, we really want to come out, and even if it's an o.c.d. or Lords of Chaos show or whatever, we'll come out and see you at a show, Rob. And we'll
Yeah, man, for sure.
come and have a few beers with you, and we'll get a live. You're watching the Simmo and Kiel show right on the spot, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'll let you know when I get the next show booked in Newey.
Yep.
I think we might have one with o.c.d. coming up next month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'll definitely stay in touch and let you know when something comes up that's local. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Unless you just want to travel down to Sydney for the fucking Lord Kaos one.
Oh,
That's going to be a good show.
Oh, I know. 7th of July, is it?
7th of July, yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, right, we'll see. I've got Thrashville coming up next weekend, and then after
Hang on.
Thrashville,
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm
That'd
not
be
sure.
killer.
Is that
I'm thinking of going out to Thrashville. I
That might
want
be
to check
one of-
it
I
out. I've
think
been
the
keen to
well,
go
if
for
you
a
end
few
up out
years.
there, let us know. I'll be out there, bro. I'll have a beer with you.
I might, you know what? I might been out for a while. I might get a skid out there and get
ticket,
amongst it. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
yeah,
not
that's
even too
fine.
bad. Only $80 a ticket, mate.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting out there. So I've been thinking about it. I wanted to go
Monday night.
last year as well, but I didn't actually make it happen. So yeah,
And you know what? The lineup this year is metal as fuck. We've got Plague Dweller
fucking
out
killer.
there. We've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
King Parrot. We've got Frankenbach. We've got Maruthan. Fucking, oh, mate, the
yeah,
guys in the masks. That's wild, that shit.
The full
yeah.
cult
No,
band.
it's a good do out there. They've got a good setup, and no, they're putting on a solid lineup this year. So it'd be
Yeah.
good to get out there.
Who knows? I might see you there, Rob.
I'm thinking about it. I
Yeah.
think I'm 60%. I just
Yeah.
let's see what happens. I sort of make my mind up about shit on the fucking day. I sort of just go, oh, fuck, yes or no. Like I don't sort of plan too much ahead,
Yeah, I
but
feel
I'll
ya.
come the day. I'll know what I want to do. I go, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to
Honestly,
go
I
and
wish
get
I
cracked
could
with the
do it that
boys. Or,
way. But because of me and the wife and the 3 kids, and we're going to line everything up with Nenny and
your
Poppy to
plan
look after
shit,
the
yeah,
kids, the way I
yeah.
have to do it is it's all going to be pre-lined
You got
up.
to.
Thrashville coming up, and I'll tell you what, look, I'll 7th of July, like, you know, we'll
That's
put
a
on.
Monday night.
Oh, it's a Monday night. That'd be a
I just
Monday.
Oh
checked
no,
it.
it must be 5th of July.
Oh, 5th of
It'll be the
July.
5th.
5th of July. We've
Yeah, I
got
got the date wrong. It'll
I
be the
had
5th of
people.
July.
All right, cool. But if we
Yeah.
don't see you at that one, we'll definitely try and get out and come and see you at one for sure,
Yeah,
Rob.
man. I'm going to try and get to the Thrashville one. Hopefully, there's still some tickets. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to get out there. But we'll just see what happens on the day.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. See if
So
I've got to work or not.
Nice.
we've had a few beers now, so we're just cruising. I'm just trying to take this one out to the final end where it has the little timer come up. Any like dream collaborations or
That you'd like to do.
that you'd like to do? Like, what would be like your dream collab to maybe sing with Matty Young or something like that on a track, or you know, like
I've never ever fucking thought about that. To be honest, no, I'm pretty simple
I've
kind of a
I've
person.
got
I
one
don't
yeah,
right.
really
I've
sort
got
of.
one right now.
yeah.
Here's one. We should have Simmo, Kyle, and Rob record a song and see how we go.
We could do that House of the Rising Sun cover.
And just see how
That's
it comes
doable.
out. That would be awesome.
So yeah, we've got a crazy lineup out at Thrashville. We've got see, here we go. Now we've got 10 minutes left, Rob. So we've got a crazy
It's 2
lineup.
days. Isn't Thrashville over 2 days?
Last year's
the way it works is the bands are all on the one day, on the Saturday. But what you
All right.
can
Yeah.
do is you can rock up and do your camping on the Friday night and also camp there the Saturday night. So
Right.
on the
Yeah.
Friday, there's actually no bands playing, but there's plenty of people rocking up, and I think they're actually going to have
Well,
the bar open.
I'll
So
come out. I'll come. I think I'll come out on the Saturday. I'm pretty keen to because I want to catch up with Donnie. And the Plague Dweller boys because I didn't
yeah,
get a chance
I'm
to
pretty
stick around
sure
at the
that
Brisbane show.
last year they did
No,
it over two. They did it over 2 nights. I'm pretty sure last year.
that's
They
what I thought as well.
Yeah, last
That's
year's
what I
one
thought.
because Cog was one of the big bands that played one night,
yeah.
and Mammal was the other band that played
Yeah,
following
that's how
night.
I thought they'd do it out there.
Have a look at the timetable, but the way I seen it was they're all on the 28th, and you can rock up on the Friday
I
for a
think
bit
they've
of a
reverted back to doing the one night instead of
reverted back
doing
to doing the
2
one night.
nights.
Have a look
So
at the timetable anyway. You'll see it all on there.
I'll check it out. But yeah, I'll probably see you boys out there. We'll catch up for a couple of cold ones and
Yeah.
it's going to be cold out there.
Well, it is, but we're rugging up. Because I had Azza from Frankenbach actually say, Simo, you're coming. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll see how we go. And he goes, no, you're on the list. And so I'm actually on Frankenbach's guest list.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
thank you very much,
Awesome.
Frankenbach, who just
Yeah.
not long ago, earlier in the week, if you check on the channel, they actually sent us, see in the background there's a
I
drumstick
saw
thing on the
that.
wall.
I actually watched that, bro. I watched you unbox all that.
Yeah.
That is the drum skin from the Loopholes and the Loopholes
Yeah,
album, the
that's
one
killer.
with Don't Call Me Baby on it.
Yeah, that's fucking killer.
Yeah, so Frankenbach is
Awesome.
best friends of this channel. We love the Bach over here at
Yeah, nice.
over at Simmo Metal.
Yeah.
But we got, I think, I Hate People coming up the weekend after Thrashville.
Yep.
And then me and Kyle are going to be talking to Khan But what we'll do, Rob, is when you do get to the point where that album is coming out,
hit us up.
We'll get you back on again, and we'll talk all about the new album, because I'm looking forward to that new album. So whether or not it's in a year's time or in 6 months' time, there's just when it's coming up to it, let me know, and I'd love to feature basically the exclusive of that album coming out on this channel.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
we can do a whole show where we just talk about the album, what you did to record it, all the song ideas, what techniques you used. I'd even love to talk gear, like what kind of guitars, what kind of amps you're using, all that shit. Yeah.
Yep.
So is there anything else that you want to put out there about Vaticide or any of your other bands before we wrap up for the afternoon, Rob?
No, I think we're pretty good, man. It's been a pleasure and had a lot of fun. And
cheers, man. Everyone always does with the Simmo and Kiel show. Everyone comes on sort of a little bit unsure, but then they see me and Kiel chilling out, and I
already knew Kiel from before, and I've been watching some of the stuff you've done, so I knew it'd be a blast, and I knew it would be fun. So as soon as you said that you had a spot free, I was like, yeah, fucking oath, man. I'll jump on there for you
and we try to keep it as pro as we can around here. Like, for example, you know, I even said this to Judo Chop. Imagine instead of like the pro shit that you got, where I'm sending you a run sheet, I'm making sure that our Zoom interview's locked in, you've got the link a day before the thing happens. Imagine it was a thing where I've got no organisation.
Chuck it on.
You know, me and Kiel rock up eating cereal in our dressing gowns. You know, it's like fucking amateur hour. Like, imagine if it was that bad, you know?
Yeah. Nah, it's been good, bro. You do it well. It's been fun. It's been a good chat.
Well, I'll tell you what, do us a favour, Rob. Tell all the other bands that you talk to, you just say to them, just go, you know what, you haven't done your Simmo Metal yet. You have to do your Simmo Metal. You haven't done the interview.
I'll throw it up on my page when it's finished the editing and give you a good plug and all that, man. And
so what I'll do is I'll also send you a whole heap of promo cuts. I'll send you a little video of me and Kiel hyping it up. I'll send you a little video of you doing the Simmo and Kiel show shout out. The whole thing. So
I'll share all that. I'll share all that stuff for you, bro. That's too easy.
So you'll actually get a little bit of a package of all of that in about a week's time.
It's fine.
My average turnover for these is we do an interview on the weekend, and usually the following week, when the other interview is being filmed, I'm already dropping the last one.
Okay, sweet.
So we're pretty consistent. So while I'm pretty much off to Thrashville next weekend and filming the Simmo Metal Thrashville episode, there'll also be a whole heap of editing in my phone where I'm working on this thing throughout the week. You know what I mean?
While you're doing that, I'll be sitting in the studio recording.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be sitting in the studio. So the only reason Kiel's not at Thrashville with us next weekend is because his single is coming up next weekend. He's got to go to the record. So he's got to go to the studio to go record his song for that one.
It's gonna be awesome.
But I will definitely see you at Thrashville, bro. I will.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Fucking nice. Right, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
We appreciate you, Rob. I'll let you quickly say hooray to Kiel.
See you, dude.
I'll flip him over.
See you, boys.
That's been
Thanks
awesome.
for the chat. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers,
Hail Satan.
Nice.
Mate, I want you to say that again one more time louder.
Hail Satan!
Hail Satan on the Simmo and Kiel show. Catch you on the next one, Rob.
Burn it.
See you, boys. Thank you.
Hell yeah. See you, bro.